Back in the building with another video, but you already know where we're going based on the image that you see there on the screen. And yeah, family, we got something to talk about, man. I've been seeing a lot of people cover this story, man, and I didn't get a chance to chime in on the 50 Cent thing with Marquise, but I'm gonna tie all of that into what I'm about to talk about here in this video, because you're starting to see something that I find highly disgusting. Now, before I get into the video, I'm going to show some videos. I may even read a little bit of an article in reference to this point that I'm trying to make about Romeo and Master P. And we starting to see a lot of stuff going on out here, fam, where these damn ungrateful little kids are going out here disrespecting their fathers. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this image is because I'm going to walk you through my understanding, my upbringing of what I know about Master P and how I found out about him. But I'm also going to tie that into other things about the character of a man. It's more than likely going to be some 4.0 conversations if you guys would listen. But feel free to chime in. If you got something to say where you might disagree with something that I'm mentioning, feel free to leave it there in the comments, because I want us to be able to talk openly about stuff like this. But where I want to kick it off is it becoming popular to call your father out all over social media and put your business all out there in the street? Somebody let me know, because we're seeing way too much of it, to where you got these ungrateful little kids, and I want to call them other words, but you know how the powers of YouTube be. As soon as I say anything, they try to hate, fam. They put limited, visibility on damn near every one of my videos now. Let me have a good week and they got to shut me down, but they can't never stop the real. But is it becoming popular just to give your father hell, especially if your father is a man who came from nothing, made himself into something, sit up there, had children, and try to give his children something? Then you got these ungrateful little MFers who want to come out here and talk sideways about their fathers. It seems like black men, black fathers get a lot of unnecessary hell. I mean, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine the positions that Master P has put Romeo in. He has put Romeo in so many good positions throughout the years, to where most fathers don't even have that opportunity to be able to change their children's life, not only from a position of generational wealth, but also from a position of understanding, learning, having somebody there with you who can give you firsthand experience. And these ungrateful little MFers don't even seem to appreciate that at all. And a lot of things that is going on between these two just probably need to stop. And I'll be honest with you guys, at first when I heard this story, I thought this was just some kind of publicity stunt, because it really sounds like, 50 Cent and Marquise all over, just like the down south version. And I was like, man, look, this stuff is becoming out of hand a little bit. But here you have a son who is going to sit up here and try to scold his father for not being there for his sister. So let's talk about that a little bit. Unfortunately, Romeo, you may see Master P, you may see Percy as your father, right? And that's understandable, because he is your father. He's been there with you most of his life, or most of your life for that matter. Because Romeo, from what I'm thinking, somebody please correct me if you think I'm wrong, but Romeo is the oldest kid. But let me tell you how other people see your father. Your father is this guy to me. Now, I'm from New York, but I got some family members down south, and I can remember in those mid-90s to where all of that buzz was coming from down south. And it wasn't the Atlanta, outcast goody mob scene. It was what was going on in New Orleans. But when I first found out about your father, it was that Ice Cream Man album. And a lot of you brothers know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about P was a legend in the game. When I first heard about this man and I heard those records, I could hear the pain in his voice of what he went through. Shining out there with I think those were Davids. Those were roasters. See, I know some things in life, fellas. Give me a little bit of credit. But your father was clean out there. I mean, pushing it, doing his thing, looking spectacular, going up and down them Calio blocks. And you guys know New Orleans is my second favorite city. I got love for Atlanta too, but ain't no place like the NO to me, outside of New York City, that is. But yo, your father was doing his thing, man. You talking about Silk, you talking about C, and I think the other brother's name was Kevin, right? So you had a lot of traction down there, and the man was just really telling his story over raps and what he went through. I'm talking about Mia X. I remember Cain and Abel, Big Ed. My favorite out of everybody in No Limit was actually Fiend. I used to hear Fiend and I used to go crazy. It was always, Fiend, and it was always Master P for me. I mean, is there heaven for a gangster? And then break them off something. You know, we about that action. But your father was out here putting in work before you was even in the picture. But yet that man had to go out here, struggle, make something out of nothing, selling records out the trunk of his car, not only down there in New Orleans, but Master P even got some lineage and some ties to Richmond, California. I remember those songs, man, like it was yesterday. So your father went out here and tried to create something for himself, but put you in a position to where you can really achieve things and have things. But now you want to scold that man over social media talking about he couldn't been there for your sister. And I'm pretty sure Master P had to heal in his own special way, because yes, that is your sister, Romeo, but that's also that man's daughter. So that man had to face different levels of grief that maybe you don't quite understand. And it's a lot of these children out here, they don't even think like that, fellas. They think that, that's my dad and I should have access to my dad, but you can't always get access to the things that your father did when he was coming up in the game before you were even born. That pain that he had to go through. Yeah, you could sit there and talk to him about it, but some fathers tend to express that, or some fathers tend to, explain some of the things that they went through with their children, and some don't. You just got some that just rather keep certain things a secret. And I don't know how Master P is, but you can't tell me that this man ain't a damn good father. For Romeo to have been in the positions that he is and currently still is in life is due to the person that he's beefing with, his own flesh and blood. So I'm going to show you guys this article and I'm going to go through it a little bit, and then we're going to get into Master P's response to some of the things that Romeo had to say. Now, I hope you guys can see this, but this article comes over to us from The Root, and it starts out by saying, what is going on between Master P and his son, Romeo Miller? The father and son duo are bringing their family drama to social media, which I find to be shameful all within itself. Some things should just be kept indoors, but I don't know what the hell people be out here doing. Is it 2002 or 2022? Artists such as Bow Wow and Romeo are now being talked about like they were when they were child stars. In the case of Bow Wow, it's because he's feuding with the man who brought him into the game, Jermaine Dupri. The same could be said about Romeo, who's going back and forth with his father, Master P. Over the weekend, Romeo called out his father for ignoring his sister's mental health issues, but speaking out on the struggles of Steven Twitch Boss. I have no idea who that guy is. I mean, I see guys making videos about him, but I don't know who he is. Tatiana Miller, I'm pretty sure I just botched that, but it's kind of hard to read these things sometimes. Master P's daughter and Romeo's sister passed away in May at the age of 29. In a now deleted post, Romeo wrote on Friday, "Today was a boiling point. I had seen a man avoid his own children's struggles with self-deletion and depression, but post another man who passed away that he doesn't even know. Y'all idiots be lost. Better stop following the blind. Watch when it's revealed." See, you see that? The disrespectful nature within that statement or within itself. What would allow you to conjure up this fake courage to be able to talk about a man who brought you, his oldest son, into the world, but also brought your sister into the world? And like I said, I'm not trying to be too critical, but I got to be real. Yes, that is your sister, and you have a tie to your sister. But what you don't understand a lot of times is your mother's tie to your sister and your father's tie to your sister. A lot of times, and this is what people like Romeo and Marquise often miss out on or not able to understand, is that you sometimes, especially nowadays with these types of children, is that they go through things in life, and instead of healing some of the way that the earlier generations heal, like for me, we didn't have all this therapy stuff and mental health stuff and all of that. Sure, these things were prevalent, they may have led to some type of trauma, but believe it or not, a lot of this stuff made us stronger as men. And that's what you're going to get over here on the 4.0 side. I'm not going to be out here talking about therapy. Now, some people need to go to therapy, but some other people have ways of going through pain and being able to heal in a certain types of way. And those traumas, those things that they have gone through have made them stronger. So you don't know what it is that your father has been going through when it comes to dealing with what happened to your sister. But for you to disrespect that man like that, that's all out of character. Now, Master P could have said to himself that he felt some kind of way about this DJ passing away, and maybe it connected him to something that he went through at an earlier time that he didn't even express to you. You got to imagine the amount of DJs that your father has met. I remember seeing videos of you sitting up there talking to Free and AJ promoting your rap snacks. Did you get that way yourself? Sure, you had to do some things yourself, but it was the man that you're currently beefing with online so everybody can see it that put you in that position to even have that opportunity. But did you ever even think about that? The answer is no, because a lot of these little MFers are very selfish and they hide behind social media. They hide behind, mental health issues. No, get your fucking ass up. Go over there and talk to your father and try to understand what it is your father went through. If he wants to tell you, he will tell you. If he doesn't want to tell you, let that man tell you when he's ready to tell you. Because a lot of us, and I will reiterate this, we had to deal with pain in different ways in some of these bitch ass children. The next day, Romeo continued to take aim at his father in the form of a poem he posted on Instagram called The Tree of Trauma. In the caption, he wrote a poem because poetry is one of the most powerful forms of therapy. Let's educate and break the cycles together. Your mental health is just like a muscle that needs to be built and treated. Okay, some of us can agree with that. But when you talk about what actually happens in the street, you can't go sit up on some therapist's office and really divulge what actually you went through, what your father went through, whether it was in Richmond, California, or what he saw over there in New Orleans in them Calio days. You think he can go talk to a therapist about some of that shit? How the hell you don't know that? You have access to all of the songs, all of the recordings that your father has done. Have you ever listened to the songs to let you know exactly what that man went through? The stuff that he was able to actually record? And then the more private details, have you ever spoke to him about that? So don't give me this crock of bullshit about, what do you think he's just supposed to be able to heal from things normally? That man ain't have nobody to go talk to about that. And the people that he probably did have to, and the people that he might have been able to talk to about that, some of those individuals are locked in jail right now or 6 feet deep. He continued, the next generation will grow stronger because of our truths and as men of God. I know mines will be one day too, the tree of trauma. Now, I looked into reading this shit. I'm not reading all this mumbo jumbo. See, I'm not into this mumbo jumbo crap. Once you just start disrespecting your father in such a way, I don't want to hear anything about any mumbo jumbo, your healing and your processes. Fuck your process, because I know that there are kids out there who never had their father in their life, or maybe their father was in their life at a young age, and then maybe the mother and the father just couldn't get along, so the father had to disappear. Or they got kids out there now who don't even have their father in their life because their father is buried in a casket somewhere. So don't give me this crock of bullshit. And that's what these kids keep doing. They're going out here talking about they want to promote their truth and tell their stories and how they're going to be the next generation. You motherfuckers are a bunch of young, spoiled little bitches. One now deleted post Master P wrote, this new generation of kids needs to stop blaming their parents for everything. Exactly. Mental illness is real, and so many families are tragically affected by it, especially when there is added trauma like death of a loved one. Exactly what I was talking about, man. You can't imagine how many people Master P done seen lost to life and done things and they can't even be here right now to be able to express what they was going through. But yet his little 30-year-old ass is out here talking about, the traumas. Master P can't talk to you about what the hell was going on back then and there. The No Limit Records founder then told Romeo, son, I love you. Stop trying to get people to feel sorry for you and let's come up with a solution. You can come to talk to your father and your family like a man. You have kids too. Now that's a critical point, right? Because as a father, you often love your kids, man. You ain't gonna never hear me talk bad about fathers out here. Now, some fathers raise some little bitch ass motherfuckers, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of joking around with that. But most of us, we love our kids. I had a kid early. I talked about that in my video. I love my boy. My boy has came to me sometime with some spoiled, I want this, I want that attitude, and I flat out told him, hell no. The one thing that you want that you don't know that you want yet is a goddamn job. How about that? But they often run to the public to get the court of opinion on their side. And I don't even understand, what does that do for you? Because you get followers trying to champion your message, but yet you have the ability to go roll home and talk to a man who is a legend in the game. Now, I want to talk about the other thing that Master P has done. Last time I checked, your father came up with one of the most lucrative rap contracts that ever existed, to where when he had No Limit Records, that man was putting out records almost damn every single week. And the percentages he was making on those records, I don't think that that's been duplicated in history ever. So why can't you understand any of that? But it's almost like these kids, they don't want to understand that. They want to talk about things that they don't have instead of focusing on the things that they do have. No family is perfect, but together with God, we can heal and get through this. The two then continue to go back and forth in Master P's comments, as seen in the screenshots below. I'm not going to read that because that's a bunch of crock of shit too. The artist formerly known as Little Romeo claimed that his father has not been willing to talk about family issues and is addicted to social media. He later added that he's never been paid for anything while he was making music under No Limit. Here we go with this shit. Romeo, what are you talking about? Now, yes, you might want to be paid for what it is that you've done, but aren't you going to get some of No Limit Records when your father passes away? Aren't you going to get some of that money coming back to you on the back end? And Master P has 9 children, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure that anything underneath No Limit probably is going to be left to you. Or maybe you may get a piece of it. So you're going to be paid on the back end. But I get that you want to be paid on the front end. But what do you need to be paid on the front end for? Everything that you probably got was pretty much paid for you at some point. It ain't like you took any loans to go to college or something like that. I'm pretty sure those things were paid. So what are we talking about? In a final post addressing the feud, Master P shared a video on Instagram asking for forgiveness and saying that the door is always open for his son. Now let's take a look at that.
Today is a sad day because I got to get out of character and put this on the internet, which I don't want to do. But I try to call my son. People say, why you call? I did. He don't call back. It's been months. So my question is to Romeo. Like, if you've been in the business for long as you've been in, and you're a 30-something-year-old man, and if you've been around me, watching me hustle and do my thing, why you not where you want to be at? Because that means you're not listening. That means you want.
Now, I had to pause it there because I want you guys to understand exactly what that sounds like. What you're seeing there on the screen. And this is how little respect black fathers get. Now, we know that sometimes these kids' moms will tell them all types of foul shit about their dad, but it's coming to levels that I've never seen before. It sounds exactly like what 50 Cent was talking about. 50 Cent one time told a story about how he was in the Diamond District in New York City, and Marquise must have popped up at the jewelry store, the same jewelry store that 50 Cent was in. He had the ability to speak with his father right then and there, but the kid ran off and didn't even want to speak to his father. Hadn't talked to his father in almost a year, something like that, 50 Cent. And I'm saying to myself, here you got a man that you can talk to about what it is that you're going through in life. Now, maybe he's not always available when you want him to be available, but the man is your father. But yet, these little knuckleheads, what they want to do is they want to go on social media, talk so bad about their father when they have access to the man. Now, maybe you got to wait and be patient. But Marquise wanted exactly what he wanted in that moment, just to go there, basically son his dad or herb his dad or put his dad in a negative position, or where the father got to go sit up there, chase after you in order to talk to his own son. Where they do that at? And now Romeo's doing the same thing. Has the ability to talk to Master P, but he doesn't want to talk to him because of what he feels he went through. But let me tell you, young kids, something, man. You got to knock this bullshit off. And the reason why you got to knock it off is because what you need to understand, same situation with Marquise. And this is what people don't often understand. And I think people miss this a lot of times. Whether it's Romeo and Master P or Marquise and 50 Cent, a lot of times when the child is your firstborn, you're not always going to be there because you're still in your grinding phase. You're in your hustling phase. This is when you are trying to blow up and put your family in positions to have generational wealth. So you're not always going to be available. That's a lot of reasons why sometimes the father is never really around the young kid, especially the first child, as much as he wants to be, because he's still going through the grinding phase to set up the first child for life. And that's the same exact thing that happened with Marquise. Marquise was out here bitching, talking about my father wasn't giving me this, my father wasn't around. But notice 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson was in the grinding phase. The same thing that Romeo was probably feeling some kind of way about. So let's keep going.
Do your own thing. You done brought your own circle of people, but you can't get mad at me because I really thought this was about the only reason I entertained this on social media. I thought it was about the DJ Twitch post I put up, and I thought it was about my daughter's death. I thought you was grieving. Mental illness is real, but I want to tell all the people out there that just don't understand how bad my heart hurt. Romeo lost a sister, but I lost a daughter. And for any parent that's going through this, because I know that it brings people closer together or it tear them apart. But I come from nothing, y'all. And I could go back. I'm cool with it. I won't be angry at God. I won't be upset. I won't go get mad and be disrespectful to my parents and none of that stuff. I just said, Dad, thank you for putting me in this world, not to get out and hustle and go do my thing. But that's the problem. When you take kids and you kind of like protect them from the real struggle and the pain, and you don't allow them to deal with their own consequences. And then when they grow older, you never gave me nothing. At 30 something, man, people could go back and look, you've been shining for a long time, son. All you got to do.
Facts, 100% facts. Romeo and Marquise are grown ass men. Now, when we define men, we have pushed this timeline back. We want to be able to say, hey, when you're 30, you're a man. But technically, if you really looked at it, especially back in the day, and I'm talking about way before I was born, you were a man at the age of 18. Some men even left the damn house. My grandfather, who was born in 1896, left the damn house when he was 16 years old. And that was considered long. My grandmother, my father's mother, she left the house when she was 12. So here we got these grown ass 30 something year old men up here bitching and moaning about what they don't have. But yet they're willing to just throw their fathers underneath the bus. And that's the part that I find so troubling. It's like, where did these kids get this sense of entitlement and access and want to be able to moan and complain to the world about what it is that they're experiencing? And that's exactly what Master P just said. What I was talking about throughout the video, you heard Master P confirm it right then and there. That man lost a daughter. You lost a sister, but you don't understand how it feels for a man to lose his daughter. You do not. You understand how it is to have kids now, Romeo. But remember, you young in your kid's life. When you look up 20 years from today, you're going to be ashamed at this moment. I promise you, you will, because you're going to have to deal with some of the same things that you blamed your father for when your kids grow up and they say the same things about you. Yeah, you can try to be the best father you can be. But at the end of the day, just to get on social media and talk down about your father, keep that shit in house, player. Where's the respect level?
Do is pick up the phone and call me or come to the house and holler at me. The saddest thing about this is what the people want to see. They want to see destruction. So if you destroy me, what are you going to do for the rest of the family? Are you going to take care? You told me on the post that you put up, oh, you go take care of people in the community. That's what you're supposed to do when you come from that. You go help people. I'm just not helping ungrateful people. I'm not an ATM machine. People can't just say they love me when I give them something. I'm tired of that, y'all. And any other parents, you could be rich or poor at a smaller level. You might give your kid $10, but if that's all you got, I've always fell off, got back up, hustled, did my thing. I'm tired of all these blog sites and all this stuff, poking and having fun. Y'all can, but I'm about to go back to work and do what I got to do. I love my family. My door is always open for my son. To be honest, because we shouldn't have to go through this. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. I'm apologizing to you if I'm wrong. I'm still a work in progress. I come from nothing. Everybody go through trauma. I'm dealing with this right now, but I love going out into the community and helping people. That's the way I heal. Allow me to heal. I don't have to be sitting around moaning and crying and all. I can't get my daughter back, but I can get out there and keep a legacy going, keep a name going. So let's do this in love and let's do this in peace, because this is what the system wants. Think about it. We stronger together, but you older now. So you got to lead by example for the rest of the kids. And we're going to get through this. I'm just telling y'all, keep y'all prayers. We need it. And God going to do what he got to do. You know, I'm not going to come on here no more. So bloggers and everything else is cool. Whatever you want to deal with Romeo. Whatever y'all think he's saying is true or whatever, that's cool too. I can live with it. I'm at peace now. I had to speak my piece.
I think the Colonel said it well. He tried to do everything. And what's wrong with him going back out into the community and helping people? Sure, you might need help. But if you think you need help with all of the things that you have been given in life, can you only imagine what them kids in the Calio, what them kids in the 6th Ward, what them kids in the 9th Ward need? Can you just take a step back from what it is that you think you need and think about those kids? The man came from nothing, but yet he has built something, not only for you, but for all of your other brothers and sisters. So yeah, the man lost a daughter. Yeah, you lost a sister. But you know how many kids your father got? And your father is going out there still grinding and hustling. But he's put you in a position to be the best man you possibly can be. So stop blaming him and get off your ass and figure out what you need to do. And the same thing could be said about Marquise. Stop blaming your father for what it is that you ain't got. Figure out your own shit, because your father, just like Master P, has went through pain that you couldn't even understand, even if they did tell you. And fellas, we gotta start making sure that our kids stop this bullshit about what they need and moaning and crying. You hear me say that throughout the video. You heard Master P say that. I even wanted to include something else in this video. I saw a video of Kevin Samuel's daughter speaking down about him. And I said to myself, I want you guys to look at this real quick. You can't tell me that girl don't look like her father. You can't tell me Marquise don't look like his father. You can't tell me Romeo ain't a spitted image of his father. It is always the ones that look just like you. Out of all the children you got, it's always the ones that look just like you that want to go out here and bash you. But it's about time that we put some respect on their name, because at the end of the day, at least you got one. Where some other people out there ain't never even had a father in their life. So can you only imagine the pain that they've been going through? And that's the reason why I talk about my father so much on this channel, because I'm blessed to have him in my life. And you need to put some respect on your father's name. And all these other children out here that want to say so many bad things about their fathers, understand you better be thankful that you even have one coming from where we come from. Until next time, I'm out, fellas. Peace.